Áine Minogue, a harpist and singer, is joining me, I'd say in studio, but she is joining me remotely via Zoom. Áine, welcome.
Thank you, Mark. Lovely to be with you.
Great to be with you. You're an internationally known, internationally recognized harpist and singer. So certainly, congratulations on that. I know that you've played all over the world. And fortunately, you will be appearing here in Quincy at the Thomas Crane Public Library on Sunday, November 9th from 3 to 4 p.m. So we look forward to that performance. I have had the opportunity to both record and listen to your performances in the past, and outstanding performer, outstanding musician. Today, I'd kind of like to get into your background and what got you started, I guess, on harp, but what got you interested even before then, what got you interested in music in general?
Well, very much hereditary, I'd say. It's a hereditary condition in my family. My father was a really lovely singer, and both my parents went to great rounds to make music available to us through instruments, and going so far as to go to other towns and ask music teachers to come in and teach in the town. And my father worked really, really hard. He set up an Irish club locally and had a lot of musicians come in from around the country, and they were really great musicians. So as a result of that, we were really surrounded by just wonderful caliber of musicians, and we all played. And of course they bought a lot of instruments, and there were 10 of us, so they had to work really, really hard to make all that happen and get us all into music lessons and dancing lessons and all the things that they did for us. So I'll be eternally grateful to them. So we all tended to play. There were musicians, there was music all over the house, and it was all different kinds of music, because Ireland was very much like that, where you didn't differentiate between genres. It was just all music, and you just played and sang it all. So that was kind of how it all got started. And when I was 12, I went away to a boarding school, and of course that was full of music as well. And I had a very influential teacher there, Sister Eileen Walsh, and she got me into the orchestra. They had an opera every year. They had all kinds of musical ensembles and choirs, and so that took me right through to 17, 18. And so it was just music from day one.
And was it singing first? Was it the harp first?
I, started on tin whistle, the little penny whistles, like a lot of kids, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Then you go to piano accordion, which are very similar, and whatever else was knocking about. And it was more when I went away to school. My older sister had played the harp, so I'd have messed around on it, but I got really serious about it when I went away to school, and kind of stopped playing all the other instruments then, stuck with the harp, and pretty much stuck with it ever since. And the singing was very accidental. I really started singing when I was making my first album, because I had hired other musicians that I loved, that I really admired. So there was nothing left in the budget for a singer, and I thought it was a little red hen job. It was like, well, no one else is going to do it. I suppose I may as well do it myself. And so it became one of those things where people wanted a few songs. So it was just I was kind of filling in. So over the years, it's become part of what I do, in conjunction with a bit of arranging and, a bit of album production and all that. So it's great. There's lots of growth area in music. It's wonderful.
Right. I know that clearly you're a performer, you're a composer, you're an arranger, you are a producer. So many hats.
It's all, I've just been very blessed, Mark, to be honest with you. And I'm very blessed I came to America, because there wasn't nearly as much opportunity in Ireland. And there was one job in Ireland for musicians, and that was, especially for harpists, you could play the harp at a place called Bunratty Castle. There was a few castles that catered to tourists, and it was a challenging enough program, and I happened to be very shy, so I was very blessed to get to play there, because it sort of knocked the shyness out of me, because I'd play so many hours a night that I didn't have time to think about it. And I really learned how to play and accompany musicians and singers, and play solos and do all of that and get over nerves. And then I think by the time I came to the States, I didn't think anybody'd be interested. Like, I figure, who's interested? And little did I know, there was a lot of people here who were. So, and then when I started recording, I realized how much I loved arranging and reconfiguring old Irish music and then writing my own. And I loved the studio and I love making albums. So it's just all been, lots of fun figuring out new things to do with the music.
16 albums to date.
Yes, I do like the studio. I do. I've slowed down since COVID and streaming. There's a lot of rumble in the that whole area right now. So I'm kind of stepping back, but not writing, but definitely recording. But I'm sure it'll sort itself out, and I'll get back to it.
Talk about the three noble purposes of Irish harp.
Well, thank you for asking me that. Nobody's ever asked me that. So you've really done your research. I know it's a beautiful idea, this sort of three noble strains of the harp player. And it goes back centuries, because the harp is the national symbol of the country. And it was a very noble profession. And the three things the harper was asked to do it was called the Gian Three, which means to make people laugh, the Gultri, to get people to cry or express their sadness, their sad emotions, and the Suntri. And Suan means sleep, which is to get people to sleep. So when I started out, I loved the Gantry. I used to love hornpipes and fast music and playing fast, and you want to get better and you want to play all the really intricate stuff and get good at it. I don't care about that as much anymore. I became more interested in the Gultri, which is the music for sort of emotional release, for grief and all of that, to let it out. Because in a pre-psychology world, people really used music to help them to let their emotions out, whether it was through singing or just listening to music. And I actually did an album called Celtic Lamentations that was about grief and old Irish grieving traditions. And ironically, it got a lot of attention, which was the opposite of what I thought would happen. And I've done a lot of meditation music. And the third of the noble strains that you mentioned, or purposes, was the Soon Three, which is to put people to sleep. And I consider that my area of absolute expertise. I'm kind of half joking here. But this music is very popular for people who are trying to find calm and serenity and relaxation. And honestly, I've never been busier in terms of live music, because it seems like people really want to find some ways to relax of late.
We had mentioned at the beginning of this interview about your upcoming performance. So once again, you will be performing in Quincy at the Thomas Crane Public Library on November 9th. That's a Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m. What can folks who attend expect?
We'll just have turned over what we call Celtic New Year, which is Samhain, November 31st. And November is often a month where we celebrate the ancestors, not just in Celtic culture, but in many cultures. So we'll maybe look at that a little bit, look at the crossing of the seasons, and I'll play lots of selections of Celtic Irish music, sing a few songs. I hope people will come in, sit down, relax, leave their troubles at the door. They can pick them up on the way out. And just put their feet up for an hour and chill out.
Thank you for joining me today, and I certainly look forward to more performances of yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mark. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I don't believe this interview would be complete without hearing some music from Áine Minogue.
In a winter fire is beautiful.